Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Good morning. How are you all this morning? I love that song, Kevin, by the way. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. I'm your guest host, Jorge Heredia. But not to worry, Jeff will be back next week. In the meantime, make sure you have your favorite mug and the coffee just the way you like it. Postpone your golf or yoga because for the next 60 minutes, we're going to be having some fun. Kevin, you know, I never thought that I'd be jealous of anybody, but going down the tollway this morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, no traffic, nobody's, chewing gum, nobody's texting, nobody's shaving. It was fantastic.
It's a unique experience to drive down the tollway and have nobody on there.
It's great. By the way, that's Kevin. He's playing the Wizard of Oz in the control room to
That's
my
right.
Toto.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That you are the man behind the curtain, the one that makes everything happen. 15 feet, 29 pieces, and 24 students will use art to change the world around us all. My next guest will make this a reality. Join me in welcoming Karen Blessen. She is the first ever graphic artist named as the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. She is the executive director and founder of 29 Pieces. Karen, how are you this morning?
Hi, Jorge. I'm great. Thank you for having me here today to talk about what we're doing.
Well, thank you for braving the tollway.
It was easy. It was good. It was great.
Was it? You had a good trip over here?
I had an excellent trip here.
Fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit about what is 29 Pieces?
29 Pieces is an organization. It's a collective of artists and people from all kinds of disciplines who are working together. Our main mission is to use art to take a stand against the violence in the world. And we have a curriculum that we work with in schools with kids. We've worked with over 45,000 children now. And right now we're in this big project that I think we're going to talk about today, a gigantic monumental mosaic sculpture.
Now, tell us a little bit about the sculpture itself. How do you get a bunch of students together and say, hey, we're going to build something, but everybody's going to build something different? Do you have an overarching idea of what it's all going to look like, or is it kind of a mystery just to you as well?
Well, it's both. It's a mystery, but there's definitely a unifying concept that we're all working with. These kids came to us. They're getting paid. We're giving them paid scholarships to work with us. It was a process of the kids applying and doing interviews with us as though they were applying for a job. They're from Sunset and Adamson High School, 2 from Booker T. Washington, and 1 from Irma Rangel. So they've come together. We did an orientation so that we're all having a shared vocabulary. The unifying concept is a Native American poem called Let Me Walk in Beauty. There's one line from that poem called Make My Hands Respect the Things You Have Made, and that's what it's all about. So each student was really versed in the background of that so that we're all working from the same place in our heart and spirit.
Now, one of the things that it looks like, because I've been reading it on your website and I was reading a lot about you, and one of the things that I found really interesting is that you're not only helping children, but you're educating and promoting culture, and you're helping them through the use of art. And through this art, you're going to change the landscape that we live in. I mean, you're literally going to put something there that wasn't there before, built by their own hands. Is this something that you've always strived for in helping these children and spreading culture and art?
Not always. I mean, I had a long, very fortunate career as an illustrator and writer, as you mentioned. And 15 years ago, a young man was shot and killed in my front yard in East Dallas. After that, I did a big story for the Dallas Morning News in which I really began to understand the cost and the value of one life. And I wanted to do what I knew how to do and what I believed in, which was making art to help give kids a way to navigate the world in a way that's not quite so impulsive, that's not quite so much resorting to violence. So my deep desire to work with children and to really try to affect the landscape of our lives happened about 12 years ago. And I had no background as a teacher. I didn't really have a lot of connections with school districts, and we worked in absolutely the most grassroots way to build relationships with teachers, with principals, with librarians, so that they would allow us to come into the schools to work with the kids. And yes, at this point, 10 years in, I do believe that we've changed not only personal landscapes for a whole lot of children, but we're literally now changing the landscape of Dallas by creating these pieces of monumental sculpture that will change the face of communities.
Now, when exactly will the sculpture be done?
That is a good question. Our target goal is April of 2016, and we have some things cooking that might, regarding locations for where it will live, that might affect that. But our target is April of 2016.
Now, can you give us a preview of around what the location is, where we could expect to see it, or is that a secret?
I can give you a preview of where we hope it will be and where we have some good leads that it will be. Our office is on Jefferson Boulevard near Bishop, and we are hoping that it's within walking distance, that it will land and live within walking distance of our offices. And that's also good. It's going to change the community. It's also going to be where all the kids who worked on it and their families and their fellow students and their teachers will see it every day.
Now, are you planning on having a ribbon cutting? Are we going to see a really big event to unveil this sculpture?
Yes. The ribbon cutting, we're doing a ribbon cutting for our office on July 28th at noon. But for the unveiling, we're definitely planning a very big event. We're going to have, the kids are also being trained in spoken word poetry. We have musicians from each school. The kids are creating small handmade books that are part of the project as well as the art. So they're working on a lot of fronts. So for the event, we want to do something that incorporates the unveiling, theatrical aspects, spoken word aspect, and music. We're also working with something like, 25,000 kids to create posters that will be about this project that will rise all over the city the same day that the sculpture is unveiled.
Now, you don't have to keep 25,000 kids in line, do you?
No.
Okay,
No.
just making sure, because I can't see that. I see that as being a monumental effort, I'll tell you. It cannot be easy.
Well, we translate the message, and we hope the message will kind of keep the kids in a little bit of, we like a little bit of chaos. That's how creativity happens, but to keep them, controlled in a controlled chaos.
Now, tell us a little bit more about some other projects that you're either working on or that 29 Pieces has worked on recently.
Well, I can tell you about two that are really cool and really exciting. We did the Dallas Love Project in 2013, and we did work with 20,000 artists in 2013. It was done as a response to Dallas being labeled a city of hate after the Kennedy assassination. So we worked with 20,000 artists who created 10,000 pieces of art about unconditional love, and we exhibited those in 66 locations along the Kennedy motorcade route in the 2 months surrounding the 50th anniversary of the Kennedy assassination. We got tremendous press all over the world from that. We're collaborating with a group of spoken word poets to do something called the VIP Lounge, which is Voice is Power. And we work with students and with teachers to really make the heart-mind connection that all of us have these churning hearts with all kinds of conflicting emotions going on. We try to create the time and the space for teachers and kids to make connections, to be able to tell a story and express it, whether it's through poetry, visual art, dance, theater. So those are two really cool things we're doing.
That's a really cool project. Those are really neat. Now, how has your life changed? Because obviously when you first started, it was kind of a grassroots movement. Now you have 29 Pieces. How have things changed for you personally, and what was it like to see everything start getting off the ground?
That is a really good question, because for 30 years, I lived the life of a hardworking professional artist and walking 50 feet to my studio in the backyard, talking to my agent in New York over the phone, having FedEx pick up and deliver jobs. So I looked at the mirror in the morning, and that's the company. And now my life is really, my palette is all of these people and the ideas and the projects. So my life has changed completely to more of a managerial, a director kind of job. And so now we just keep a lot of plates spinning at once, everything from doing PR to making great art, which is our main priority, to keeping, trying to keep the website up to date, to getting the word out, keeping our finances in order. So there are a lot of plates to spin in an organization, just like in an entrepreneurial business.
Now, what is that website? So anybody that wants more information, they want to be able to go to the unveiling, they want to go to the ribbon cutting. It's such an important thing that you guys are doing with children, culture, art. It's something that's kind of lost today in a lot of schools, and it's fantastic that you're bringing that to the community. So what is that website?
Thank you for those kind words. The website is 29, the numerals, 29 pieces, PIECES.org.
Oh, wonderful. Now, for my last and most difficult question, are you ready?
I'm totally ready.
What constitutes, in your mind, good art?
That's a great question. What constitutes good art? Well, I think there's I'm old-fashioned, so I still like beauty of some kind, however you define that in great art. I think great art has to connect on some level, whether it's on the most basic gut level, a heart-to-heart connection, a soul-to-soul connection, or a brain-to-brain connection. I think there has to be that connection of some kind. It has to move people.
Well, Karen, that is absolutely wonderful. I completely agree with you, as a matter of fact. I love art. So
Thank you, Jorge.
we're going to go to a quick break here in a second. And Karen, if you can give us the website one more time for those of us that are just joining.
Absolutely. It's 29pieces.org.
Excellent. Karen, thank you very much. So we're going to
Thank
go
you.
to a quick break. Coming up after the break, we have a special guest. She spent years in your living room. She is an icon and a phenomenal journalist, as well as a personal friend of mine. Stay tuned to the Jeff Crilley Show, and we'll be right back.